Well, hello everyone. This is Jeanne White from Social Connections on Passionate Real Talk Radio. And today I have a guest. Her name is Julie Thomas, and she is out of Detroit, Michigan. And unfortunately, we don't have her video on right now, so you'll be able to hear her voice. All right. Now, Julie is a freelance writer. She's a poet and she's an author. And we'll have to talk about these books that she has written, and that how she is helping women today in the Detroit area. And she will give us some information on how you can get to her programs. Well, welcome, Julie.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Good, thanks. Okay. Okay, let's talk about what it is you do, Julie. And first of all, I know that you do a lot of things for the different women in your area, right?
Right, exactly.
Can you tell me what you do?
Well, what I do is I'd like to go out and we're empowering women to get up, answer, like I said, originally to answer God's call. So God wants them to go out and educate other women. They must get up and they must go out and do it. We host a lot of programs where we have guest speakers come in and talk to women and educate them, like going through shelters. We'll go out to shelters and talk to women.
Okay.
And we'll host free, most of my programs that I host are free to the public, you know. Okay. I really don't believe in charging poor women money to get in. But then if there is a fee, if the fee is a small charge, like $5 to $10, you know, that's what we do.
Yeah. Now, what type of programs do you do specifically? Do you have places where they can go and get training, or maybe help out with their finances? What is it?
We have programs throughout Metro Detroit where women can go and get help with food, clothing, shelter. If you need finance help, they help pay your rent or gas money, or for food. We have people and programs out there that can help them with that. So we're just want to let women know that there is help out there for them. And there are people out there that really, there are people out there that really care.
That really do care. Now, I know we'll take this information down, like where places they can contact you. Do you have some names right off the bat, like a website or email address or a program that you're presently doing?
Yeah, we have the True You Women's Organization. It's www.trueyouwomens.org. If you go to that website, they can learn more about what that program offers. And the lady that runs that program, her name is Loretta Landrum.
Okay.
And she can help them with, like I said, food, clothing, shelter, and also some women's empowerment classes.
Okay. So the website is www. Is it True? TRUE?
Yes, womens.org.
Truewomens.org?
No, I mean, www.true You.
Oh, You Women.
YOU. Okay. Yes.
Okay, that's great. And then I have the name of Loretta on one of my forms that you sent me. Is there any other places, like there's an email, Julie, that they can get in touch with you with?
They can, people can email me through my email, which is juliethomas232@yahoo.com. If they want, any other information, or they just want to reach out and learn a little bit more about myself and my mission, my work.
What you're doing, yes. Because I know you've talked about different books that you have written, right?
Right. I've spoken about books that I've written. Like the first one was The Legacy of Christ, where we're talking about how Christ came into existence. And then with that book, it gets into his mission, his program, and it empowers us all to follow him.
Okay. All right. Now, where can they purchase this book, Julie?
You can go, The Legacy of Christ is on Amazon. You can publicly purchase it through there because it's an ebook form.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That's
good.
an
That's terrific.
ebook format. So yeah, so if you go to Amazon, you can get download that book. And the other book is The Women Who Answered God's Call. That's also on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and other distributors.
Oh, okay. Good.
Also, you can.
Good.
Mhm.
Excellent. I think it's terrific. And I mean, also, you're a poet.
Yes, I first started out doing poetry. That was the first thing I originally started out doing before I really got into writing. Is that, and I've had some years back. I had some poetry published in other books, and that's how I became. I got to be poet of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and I got started. Yeah, when I was in college, that's how I really got into poetry writing because you had to take a creative writing class, and the teacher was like, okay, everyone's gonna have to write a poem. But at that time, I didn't really think my poems were worth. Like we all say, well, this poem isn't really worth anything. At that time, she was like, this is a real good poem, and you should really think about entering yourself into some poetry contests. So
Mm-hmm.
she gave me a list of places to submit it. I submitted it, and then that's when they said, they invited me out to California to be in their national poetry contest. At that time, I don't think I had any money, but I did submit the poem, and when they sent me a letter back and they said I was selected for Poet of the Year, and I was like, wow, what an honor. So that was the tip of my writing career.
Well, see, now you never know whether you have money or not money. You can still move forward.
Right. You can still
Yeah,
be somebody,
that's
You just
right.
never know.
You just don't until you try it. And I think that's the good
Right.
God coming into play sometimes to place you in that area. He does magical things for a lot of people, I think. But and certainly, for
I,
you,
I
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I think God does a lot of I think God does a lot of magical things, and I think He's going to continue, especially for women. I think He's going to do a lot of powerful things
Mm-hmm.
to help women prosper.
Yes, definitely. Now, I'd like to talk more about, do you have anything through your church? Do you have any ministry ladies that help out a lot with these causes?
Um, yeah, I do. The one that I mentioned, Loretta, she has a women's ministry here in Detroit, Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and they meet like the third Saturday of every month.
Mm-hmm.
They meet. So that's one of my key people that I'm working with, and
Okay.
then I have other women who they normally go out and do speakings and readings like that. So I've set up a website, a general website for it's like an online community, and that website is called www.womenforgod232.net. It gives you general information about our mission, and it lists some names of women in the community who are getting out and helping us achieve our goals.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's terrific. And I also see that I was on your Facebook page and you're having some sort of an event is it the summertime?
Yeah, it's going to be June 27th at our church, at a church I go to, Westminster Church of Detroit. It's the Metro Detroit Women's Tea, and it's an event that's open for open for the public. Anyone wants to come out and just fellowship with other women. We'll have some prayer, a couple scripture readings, and some poetry, light music, and we're just fellowshipping with everybody. Let everyone know, they're welcome, and they can help out with whatever mission that another sister there that may have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a networking type of thing.
Oh, yeah, that sounds terrific. Networking by joining ladies for a cup of tea. And you'd be surprised how much
Right.
information you can accumulate there and how many
Right.
individuals you can get to help volunteer in many different areas of your organization.
Right. Because, like you said, there are a lot of women, I'm sure, across the United States that need help, but also here back home in Metro Detroit that need food, clothing, and shelter. So we collect donations. Actually, we are trying to collect donations. Loretta wants people to donate a $1 to the cause, and you can do that through the website I gave you, the True You Women's, the True You for Women's. Yeah, they can donate $1 to their,
Also, there's
$1.
You can have 50 people there, and then and then there would be $50 right now, really,
Right,
you can
right.
use that to benefit some women that are in dire distress that need your help.
Right, exactly.
So do you do, when you go to the shelters, do they invite you there to go to the shelters and talk to these women?
Yeah, they do. For the most part, a few people that I've reached out to, a few women, they have invited me to come out to the shelters. For example, August 22nd in Flint, we're going to be working with the resource person at the Carriage House Ministry Shelter in Flint to set up a small program that will benefit women. We'll have it'll be like an informal thing, like a couple guest speakers, and they'll be talking to the women. We'll also give them a little gift bag with some nice little gifts in it, and just just getting out and sharing the love with them. So that's one of our upcoming, after the summer, one of our programs in the fall.
And this is called the Carriage House.
The Carriage House Ministry Program is Flint, Michigan. Yeah, in Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan. Because I do a blog, and I'll put that on, but it's Carriage, CARRIAGE, Carriage?
Right.
Okay, Carriage House in Flint, Michigan. Just to let people know that you're having a plant in the fall for that, And that will help out. Every little bit helps, Julie. It really does,
Exactly. Every little bit helps.
So when was it you just in your life when you were after college, was it after college that you found that this was your calling to be part of an organization to help women?
I think that I've always, I went to college for human services to become a social worker, but I think it wasn't really until after college that I felt like, 2 or 3 years back, I felt like something, after hearing all the stories about women having problems, I said, someone really needs to do something. And I think that's when it really became clear that was the direction I was going to go in,
Right. But all that training you got in college really helped you a lot too, to formulate.
Exactly.
Are you a nonprofit yet, or are you planning on it?
We're planning on. I was working with Loretta, and we're planning on becoming a nonprofit. So we're working in that direction, because we really want to, get out here and like other organizations, women organizations that try to do what we can to help. And that's, it goes back to the book that I just said, Answering God's Call. We want to just let women know we got to stick together, and we got to work to build a strong community.
Right. It's amazing because we're talking about women, and I just did a blog for Lillian Caldwell, who's the owner of this radio station, and she just did an interview with someone on women's rights and women's voting. And here we are, and I'm doing one with you now, and we're still talking about how we can help women. Really.
Right.
It's just amazing how we can, and I feel with this radio station that, I do have a huge distance where people can listen to this. So, you never know. Somebody may be listening down on the road, and they may contact you. I don't know, but I put it out into the universe, and we let it see what happens.
Exactly. Put it out to the universe, and we'll see what, you just never know. I've had people from other cities, other cities and states just reach out to me via email saying, hey, I read about you and I want to know more about you, and, we'd like to invite you to be on our podcast or send us some information about you. So if you put it out there to the universe, you never, who knows what's going to happen.
Well, look at you. Look at what happened. You contacted me, so, I mean, and this is the vital thing of women helping women. I think that's what it's all about, is to give them an opportunity or find something that you can help them with, whether it's, finding, a place for them to stay, or a place to, for finding clothes, any numerous things that happen, once you do it, once you get involved, it's very important. And I'm sure.
Right.
I'm really sorry. I've been talking a lot today, so I apologize. Do you do podcasts?
No, I was talking to Loretta, and she was interested. We were talking about possibly doing our own podcast, which would be an interesting avenue to think about. You know what I'm saying? So we're thinking about possibly doing our own podcast. And that would really be, a really big interesting thing. We can get on and talk about our own topics and have our own guests instead of being on. It's good to be on someone else's podcast, but if you have your own podcast, you can have your own voice. Because women we need a voice. Mm-hmm.
You always need voices for women, always, no matter what. There are so many that really need help, and it's all it's just really what you do is chip away at it, really. You don't look at the whole picture. You take, the small little ones and work them until they get bigger, But I know that we have hosts that come on our show, but, the thing is that you'd have to have a sponsor, to come on. If you had a sponsor, you could host some of your shows through us, but that's something we can think about down the road. At least what. Yeah,
we could definitely think about it down the road. Right.
Yeah, what I just did was I placed it, I put it up. What I now did is I sent it up to the universe. So we'll see when it spins, what happens. But at least, I projected it, and we'll see how it is. But podcasting, it would be good for you. Do you do will you ever be a minister at some point, Julie? Because you're so involved.
I don't know. It's like I said to my daughter, I said, I don't know which way God is going to take me, where this road is going to lead, Mm-hmm. He said, so we're just going to put it in God's fate. If he leads us down some ministry road, because I've always said there is a strong need for women ministry. It's a desperate need because, I was talking, like I said, to Loretta, and she was telling me that another lady was telling her, women go to church, but then they go home. So what happens after church? You went to church. So I feel like there's a giant need for women's ministry, and where this road leads, we don't know.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And I said, I don't think this is a 1-year commitment. I don't think it's a 2-year commitment. So it's just a giant. It's a commitment, and we don't know where it's going to lead. There's going to be some difficult times because you have to get out and we have to talk to other women. And so far, some women have been deceptive and some women have not. But that's just the universe.
Right. Do you write blogs, or do you do anything in your church where you pass out pamphlets or newsletters or anything like that would give,
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we write, I've started writing with my website that I gave you, the one with www.womenfor. That one. I started writing blogs. I started writing blogs. Mm-hmm. So we're just now getting into starting to write blogs and circulate newsletters,
Yeah, because information, it's one thing. I always feel like sometimes, it's great to talk. We're talking today and, you're on Zoom with me. But I think it's also good to have some paperwork at the end of it where people not everyone's going to have a piece of paper and a pencil to write all the information down. So it's a way to communicate with people through a newsletter or even a blog or something like that would be very helpful. Like, could you put a blog up on your website by any chance?
Yeah, I like I said, I wrote one blog, that's on my own website, that I started. And normally I post stuff on my Facebook page, the Metro Detroit Women's
that's
Detroit
right.
Tea, and and the Legacy of Christ page. So I normally post information on those to those things also.
Right. I think what you need too is like, not to make anything light of it, but some of these women, do they have access to computers?
And that's also true. Some women, some women don't. You have to think some women who don't, So
right.
Loretta was talking about getting into printing out newsletters and, taking them to various places like libraries and stuff like that. So I think somewhere down the road, we're going to get into setting up newsletters, like a small newsletter, but just putting it out there.
Yeah, I think, like having a small newsletter, Julie, to especially for these women, to say, look, if you go to, I don't know, X, Y, and Z, we'll be able to do a little conference discussion with you, or maybe helping them how to help them to transition out of shelters. There's many different ways, but the communication part is so important. Sometimes they're so overwhelmed, I'm sure, on what direction they're taking, because they probably have little ones with them also.
Right. And so it goes back to getting out, like you said, communication, and getting out into the public and talking to women out in the public, like some people, they have like these events where they invite vendors to come in. So we have a few vendor events coming into March, April that we will attend as vendors to give out information, newsletters and flyers and stuff, and just talking to people, because like you said, communication is going to be the biggest key,
especially for this group of individuals, because not only do they have to worry about themselves, but they also have to worry about these little their children going off to school, and how do you help them out with clothing and stuff like that, or I know some people up here, I haven't talked to them in a long time, but they used to have little birthday, you would get together and get the different companies in your surrounding area, stores, to volunteer to give off birthday parties, because these little guys, they don't even have birthday parties. I mean, so there are a lot of different avenues you can follow. I mean, you're going to need a huge following of volunteers. Do you go out looking for volunteers too to help you out?
Yeah, we've been contacting, like I said, other women, me and Loretta, reaching out to other women to get like volunteers, women that want to help other women out. So we're working on setting up a database of people who just want to help.
Right. Yeah. I bet you could do that. This is an idea I have. I bet on a Sunday when you go to church, and then after church, I know, I'm sure they have a room downstairs in the church where you could meet and talk to people that would want to be volunteers, and then maybe at some point you gather these people together at the church downstairs if the minister lets you, and start organizing.
Yeah, exactly. At our church, we do have a room, and so we plan to all meet up and try to get things set up in that kind of format,
Right.
So we can get out here, get out here and start helping some people. We've already given out, and so between me and Loretta, we've already given out last year a few food baskets to a few women, that we get these food through our church that I go through to donate food boxes to women who are in need. Right.
Yeah. I know that my church, what we have, say, I'll just use Thanksgiving and Christmas right now. It would be like on Christmas, they have this giant giving tree. And then, the people that are looking for help and assistance, they'll put on the tree, a size 12 jacket for a boy, or or I need some school supplies for children going to school. So have you ever used a giving tree?
Years back at our church, they did have something like that, similar to that's their Christmas program at our church. They do have that giving tree at our church. Yeah, and the community. They invite everyone in the community to come out and get the gifts and stuff. And they have Santa Claus comes out. Someone comes out as Santa Claus and gives the kids the free toys. Yes.
Mm. Now, did you have programs to help out women that maybe are in a real crisis mode? They may have a house or an apartment, but they're lacking some funds to pay for a heating bill or the electricity bill, to help them out with that?
Well, we're in the process of me and Loretta, we're in the process of working on funds, generating funds for women that need that exact purpose, and we give them, for that, they go through the Loretta's program, the TrueYouWomens.org program for that. Mm-hmm. If they need assistance with rent or money for food or gas or something like that, we're in the process of working on generating funds for that. Because I think that's the biggest need, that along with food and clothing, shelter and paying for your rent is the next biggest need.
I think that's really important also to help out. But you must have organizations there, or your state must be able to help out in those circumstances too, right?
Right. So we have to have, and I know that there are a lot of other organizations out here, but we have to get out here and we have to do our part as well, Mm-hmm. We have to do our part as well to help.
But what I'm saying is that your state, they have subsidy support, for.
Yeah, our state does. The state of Michigan does have subsidy support, but we just want,
you want to take care of it also yourself. I understand that, but I'm just trying to say that, there are some means that they can go to, but in the meantime, you can also help them in their transition of whatever crisis mode that they're going through, I commend you very, very much for that. I really do, for doing that. It's not, the fainted heart. It does take work, but in the long run, it's very fulfilling to help out another human being, I think.
Right.
Is there anything else I missed in this conversation? As far as did we touch all the bases that you wanted to touch, Julie?
I believe we've touched on all the bases. So if people are, if there are any women out there and you're out there in the universe or out there where your radio station is, you can just send us an email and let us know that you heard the radio program today and you appreciate, or just call in and email me, or
is there a phone number?
Information about the.
Would you rather them call?
Yeah, they can call. Yeah.
What number?
They can call me. Yeah, they can call me at 313-739-0134.
Okay, 739-0134.
Right, and that's 313.
3, yeah. And I'll put that down for you. And then you can also use this blog to help out in some way. But if you ever want to come back, Julie, you got some new stuff going on that you want people to know about, please contact me, and we'll set up, may not be right away, but we can set up, to come back on again, and I'll send you.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you the blog, and in that blog will be this interview will be on it. All right.
All right. Yeah. Definitely send me the blog, and I'll post it on my
and then
website and my Facebook page.
Yeah, maybe like I know her, Loretta may want to do it also. Because that's another way of getting the information, really getting the information out.
Right.
And I'll put up about your books, and I will put up your Facebook page. Is that the one you want me to do?
Yeah, you could do the the Legacy of Christ Facebook page.
Wait a second, Legacy of Christ.
It's the Legacy of Christ Facebook page. Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Because we want to put that down. So the more information I put out there, I don't know if it'd be confusing to
Right.
everyone, but at least they may be able to pick out one thing that they can get into. Because the most important thing is you want
Right.
people to contact you, and maybe there are people out there, that you can also, share this with your social media, and then you may get contact from someone in the Detroit area that's willing to help. You just never know. That's one thing. I mean,
You
as far
never
as when
know.
I do the show, I don't guarantee anything because it's difficult to guarantee that, but I know that we do have a listening audience, and they do contact us, and they have contacted other people that have been on our show. So you never know. Maybe it's that
Right.
right moment that someone's listening to your audio, Julie, and
Right.
say, oh wow, I really want to get involved, because sometimes people are looking for things to do and they don't know where to find it.
Right. You just never, you never know. You never know if someone is listening.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know. It's like I said, I've had people so far lately, as recent as 2 or 3 weeks back, just reach out to me by email and said,
Yeah.
They read about me or they heard about me and
Yeah.
they want to know more information. So like I said, you just never know.
You just don't. All it is I'm just a firm believer of putting it. I don't know if everyone likes it, but I always say the universe, because the universe can swirl and make things happen. And
Exactly.
what it is we're putting our intentions out there. And so for me that's
Mm-hmm.
important. But I don't want to take more of your time. I just thought it was really a great interview, Julie. It was terrific. Is there anything you'd like
Thank you.
anything you'd like to leave to the audience before we close?
Well, I'd like to leave to the audience, if you're a woman, like the power of prayer is so important. So we have to keep praying to God that things work out, and pray for our families, our communities, and the world.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree, Julie. Well, Julie, thank you so much for coming on. And you always have an open invitation if you ever feel you need to come back. All right?
Okay.
Yeah. And so thank you again, Julie. This is Jeanne White from Social Connections on Passionate World Talk Radio. And this will be heard. I will post it on all the social medias for everyone. And thank everyone for listening to this show. I really much appreciate it. Have a good day, everyone.